What up, though, people? Thank you for pushing play on the Lion's Roar vlog. We are on the second book of Adam and Eve, chapter 3. Let's jump in. As for our father Adam, at the end of 7 years from the day he had been severed from his wife Eve, Satan envied him when he saw him thus separated from her and strove to make him live with her again. So remember, at the end of the previous chapter, it's saying that Adam didn't know her anymore for like they weren't intimate anymore. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. Separated from her. I wonder just if that like. Let's just keep reading and see if we find out what this means, because that's what this vlog is about. I'm not here trying to create no new doctrine. I'm here just reading what I read and responding to it because I like doing this and I enjoy what I do here. And it's like a hobby for me and I enjoy it. And I ask the Spirit to allow me to be a mouthpiece and a voice for this and to lead me and guide me in everything that I'm doing here. So these books of Adam and Eve, I know they're not canon. However, I did feel the Spirit push me to read the books of Adam and Eve to you. So I know that I'm going to read some things that are not necessarily considered to be canon. However, I'm a reader. I love reading. It's fair use. So I'm not going to get any demerits against that. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to respond to it. And we're going to see what God shows us through this information that, most of you ain't heard of. Before I came across it some years back, maybe about within the last 10 years or so, I didn't hear about it. And I've read the thing a few different times by now. So, I enjoy this stuff. So let's just keep going. All right. Then Adam arose and went up above the cave of treasures and continued to sleep there night by night. But as soon as it was light every day, he came down to the cave to pray there and to receive a blessing from it. So Eve is in a different cave. Remember, Eve is in that lower cave with the slab that had fell over it, that created the awning, right? The roof. And Adam is in the other cave, the cave of treasures. Okay, so they're separated. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know why they. Oh, okay. So maybe he separates from her and they don't stay together on that way. I believe that probably has something to do with the fact that Adam has not realized yet, like, Adam, that's your wife. That's your wife. I made it for you. You don't have to do this. I didn't tell you to do this. But I think Adam is just so cautious. And he don't want to do nothing else. Adam's like, man, I ain't doing nothing I don't get told to do, even though I'm okay to do this. They didn't have 5 kids. Adam's like, I'm good. I'm not trying to mess up. I think that might be the energy, but let's keep moving. But as soon as it was light every day, he came down to the cave to pray there and to receive a blessing from it. But when it was evening, he went up on the roof of the cave where he slept by himself, fearing lest Satan should overcome him. And he continued thus apart 39 days. Okay, so maybe Adam was in the other cave and Eve was in the cave of treasures. Maybe that's how, but my bad. Switch that. Switch what I said. But they were separate. That's what we know. Then Satan, the hater of all good, when he saw Adam thus alone, fasting and praying, appeared unto him in the form of a beautiful woman, who came and stood before him in the night of the 40th day, and said unto him, O Adam, from the time ye have dwelt in this cave, we have experienced great peace from you, and your prayers have reached us, and we have been comforted about you. But now, O Adam, that thou hast gone up over the roof of the cave to sleep, we have had doubts about thee, and a great sorrow has come upon us because of thy separation from Eve. Then again, when thou art on the roof of this cave, thy prayers poured out, and thy heart wanders from side to side. But when thou was in the cave, thy prayer was like fire gathered together, and it came down to us, and thou did find rest. Then I also grieved over thy children who are severed from thee, and my sorrow is great about the murder of thy son Abel, for he was righteous, and over a righteous man everyone will grieve. Remember, he's still being tricked. This is a trick. And I believe this is happening in the mind, and I believe this represents that woman, represents the spirit of I don't want to say lust, but it represents the spirit of passion and like Jezebel, sweet, manipulative, trying to deceive, and then when it can't deceive, it's going to show its true colors. It's going to show its true fangs. It's going to sink its fangs in. That's what I believe that represents. I don't know personally if it was another human being, but at this time, here's what you got to know. Remember, Cain is not dead yet and has went off with the other woman, Lulua, right? And so, or the one who is represented as that name, just like Cain, and is not probably not the name of the being, right? So understand that. But remember, they now have went off, and I imagine posterity is now starting to arise because Seth is now here. So we have other humans on the planet now. So it's maybe not far fetched for other humans to maybe possibly be like, hey, another human is here. But they gotta know everybody who's around. So they kind of gotta know, like right now, it ain't that many at all. It's probably less than two hands. So like I said, it could be physical manifestation, but I think that it represents that spirit of the woman represents him being overwhelmed by that dark energy to I guess go against the decision to not be near Eve. For whatever reason, Adam did that. Okay, you following? All right, let's keep going. Okay, but I rejoiced over the birth of thy son Seth, yet after a little while I sorrowed greatly over Eve, because she is my sister. For when God sent a deep sleep over thee and drew her out of thy side, he brought me out also with her. But he raised her by placing her with thee, while he lowered me. Remember, it's still tricking. This spirit is still tricking. This is all lies. I rejoice over my sister for her being with thee, but God had made a promise before and said, grieve not. When Adam has gone up on the roof of the cave of treasures and is separated from Eve his wife, I will send thee to him. Thou shalt join thyself to him in marriage and bear him 5 children, as Eve did bear him 5. So I believe that dark one is trying to get his own posterity on the planet as well. And he's doing it by manipulating their spirit, their minds, their energy, to the point to where when they do mate and have the child, they are moved under his energy, his umbrella, if you will, his control arm. Because if they do it when he says, hey, go ahead and do that, and he could trick them into it, now they're operating under his power and influence. Just like God had already said to Adam, you chose your master. That's why you're so willing to hear from him. You denied me and you chose to obey him. So what's the deal, Adam? Right? Like what you whining, complaining about? You chose it. So let's just keep going though. But I believe that this Lucifer, this dark one, wants he needs the seeds to come out that's like Cain, because that's his spirit, that's his energy, that's his posterity. That was the trick. That's what he wanted. All right. And the sacrifice of Yahshua, and just even before the sacrifice of Yahshua, the sacrifice of the pure animals and all the different things. And if you didn't have the calf, then you could do the dove, and you could do 2 of this and all this other type of stuff. Like that That is what allows us to have a chance to get away from the to get back up to where we were supposed to be. You know, I kind of lost my train of thought right there. I'm sorry. I hate when that happens. I'm just excited about this stuff, so I need to stay focused. And I told myself when I do this vlog, all that's gonna be in there. Like I'm not changing, I'm not editing, whatever, bro. It is what it is. People leave, whatever, I don't care. Like, and now lo, and now look, God's promise to me is fulfilled, for it is he who has sent me to thee for the wedding, because if thou wed me, I shall bear thee finer and better children than those of Eve. So wed here was dealing with intimacy. Remember, we already figured that out, okay? Then again, we figured that out in book 1. Go listen to book 1. It's all posted in its own playlist. Go listen to the whole thing. You can go listen to all of it. Then again, thou art as yet but a youth. You are a youth. You are young. And end not thy youth, and end not thy youth in this world in sorrow, but spend the days of thy youth in mirth and pleasure. For thy days are few and thy trial is great. Be strong in thy days in this world, rejoicing. I shall take pleasure in thee, and thou shalt rejoice with me in this wise and without fear. That right there. So basically, like, take your paradise on earth. Like they got that song, "Take My Paradise on Earth." You know, they be saying that a lot. You know, I'd rather have my good time here. I don't know what's coming next. We got a lot of warnings and information and prophecies and things on the planet. There's definitely there's consciousness after this. Yeah. It just is what it is. So you better be thinking about like beyond here. But I just find it funny, all those promises and sweet nothings and all this different stuff. So rejoice with me in this wise, in this wisdom, in these words, in this prophecy, right? In this wise, in this power, in this spirit of me saying these sweet lies. Oh, rejoice with me in these sweet lies. That's what it should be saying. And without fear. Up then and fulfill the command of thy God. She then drew near to Adam and embraced him. But when Adam saw that he should be overcome by her, he was overwhelmed. He like, hold on, I remember this. He prayed to God with a fervent heart to deliver him from her. So Adam has now learned. You see how fast Adam was like, nope, I'm good. But we see the progression, or at least we see somewhat. We see the progression of in that book 1. We see the progression of he don't do that. If there's times where he goes straight forward, like, oh yeah, sure, cool, like, all right. But he's learned, so he's applying his lessons right here. He's like, Most High, Yahweh, Elohim, highest one, or Daddy, Abba, or whoever that highest one, however he responded to it. Like, show me what's with it. Deliver me from this, because this don't feel right. Anytime I know like they trying to pressure me like this ain't how you move. So now like we seeing some real wisdom up off of Adam now. Like he ain't even second guessing that now, because there was a point where he did that and he kind of second guessed it. Now he like, show me. That's it. Boom. Let's see what happens. Then God sent this word unto Adam. I love the quick response. Most High always coming. O Adam, that figure is the one that promised thee the Godhead and majesty. That spirit, that essence, that energy, that darkened one, that Satan, El Shaitan, that Lucifer. He is not favorably disposed towards thee, but shows himself to thee at one time in the form of a woman, another moments in the likeness of an angel, on another occasions in the similitude of a serpent, and at another time in the semblance of a god. But he does all that only to destroy thy soul. So another look at this now. Form of a woman, another likeness of an angel, similitude of a serpent, another time semblance of a god. Remember the lions. He shows up in the lions. So right here, How is he all those things? Those things are good. The serpent, the God, angel, God, a woman, those are not bad things. But they're trying to have you think that the devil is in all those things. Hold on a minute. No, I believe that it's the essence and the spirit. And see, what is this? A woman is a serpent is just an animal. Men use the adage of like, oh, you're like a slithering serpent in the grass. Why do they say that? Well, because a slithering serpent, a snake, if you don't see it, that thing will sneak right up on you if you don't see it. Quiet, sneaky, like deceptive. But that's what it uses to survive. So it's not like saying that the snake is bad, but you got people that think that the snake is the devil. Snake represents the devil. Nah. If that's the case, then the woman represents the devil, angel represents the devil, the serpent represents the devil, God represents the devil, huh? The lion that they showed up in and tried to destroy Adam and Eve represents the devil. You understand what I'm saying? Remember the old how the spirit kind of came as an old man. Now here's a woman. I don't know if this thing is shape shifting literally, physically, or if this is portraying that it's maneuvering in and out of living beings, or it's manipulating these essences and these biological essences, or that it's coming, or when it's coming like that woman, it's coming sweet nothings and very deceptive and manipulative, trying to get you off through your ear. The angel is coming like as a trick, like because you're already accepting of that. So now I'm going to look like the good thing that you love and that you know you can like. The serpent represents an animal. Okay? The semblance of a God represents the all, what runs it all, the Most High, Yahweh Elohim. Remember, that's what Lucifer was known for, trying to take the position, right? Wanting to be that guy. But you can't be that guy. You ain't. So you off in your root base essence, what you are at your root, the spirit, Lucifer, El Shaitan, that dark one, Satan, is off. Just whatever it is, it's something about it that cause it to be off, that when it can affect and infect and manipulate the minds through however it does, through whatever situation, if it's causing things to fire off negatively, that lies, deception, negative, killing, death, all that opposite of the fruits of the spirit, that's Satan. Okay? So the Most High is telling him right here, that's him. That's that one. That's that one who's always been trying to trick you. Okay? And he's doing all that to destroy you. Because why? Remember, that essence has already been identified as a destroyer. It told the humans, I'm gonna come after you and get at you. Remember, we read that in book 1. Final verse. Now therefore, O Adam, understanding thy hearts, I have delivered thee many a time from his hands, in order to show thee that I am a merciful God, and that I wash thy good, and that I wish you good, and I do not wish thy ruin. One more time. Now therefore, O Adam, understanding thy heart, I have delivered thee many a time from his hands, in order to show thee, that I am a merciful God, and that I wish you good, and that I do not wish you ruin. So in other words, Adam, I do wish you good, but I don't wish to ruin you. And that one is deceiving you because he wishes to ruin you. Remember, they already have a heading. They have a trajectory. They know where they're going. Remember, like in Pirates of the Caribbean, is it 2? Is it Dead Man's Chest? And I was like, yeah, I think it is, with the compass, and Jack Sparrow's trying to figure out like what his heading is going to be, and he can't figure it out. He'll never have his heading, and then he finally gets his heading. The heading is where you're going. They have their heading. The Most High told them exactly what they're supposed to be doing, how they're supposed to be moving, where they're supposed to be going, and everything like that. So Once something opposite of their heading comes, Adam just needs to know not to trust it. But we have to clap it up and appreciate Adam for learning to trust the Most High. Hey, Adam, yeah, he's figuring it out. Round of applause for Adam. Round of applause for Adam. Round of applause for Adam. Adam is figuring it out. I'd rather have him ask, hey, Most High, is this you or no? I'd rather have him ask that than mess up. But he needs to understand that he has a trajectory. So anything opposite of that trajectory, bro, you're tripping. All right. Now, I don't know if this it's not saying that the Spirit told him to separate from Eve. He just did it. I don't know. Man, like I said, maybe he was just being very cautious and he wanted to prove to the Most High, like, I ain't doing nothing that you don't tell me to do. I don't know, like, maybe, I don't know. Perhaps it has something to do with their age. I don't know. This just is what it is. They were separated. And right here in this chapter, Lucifer tried to trick them to go back and have more children. Perhaps it has something to do with the fact that they didn't want to produce another Cain. And maybe after they got Seth, they said, you know what? We're happy here. We're not even going to play around with it anymore. We don't want another Cain. You know, so I think that's it. That's the end of the chapter. If this information resonates with you, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Hit that notification bell if you made it this far. And you probably know someone who will resonate with, so share it with them and go ahead and get their eyes on it. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the next chapter when I come back. Peace.